Have you ever wondered why some safe and sometimes we feel afraid? Could something that I just did be the reason why sometimes we feel safe and sometimes we feel afraid? What did I just do? Let me repeat it one more time. Have you ever wondered? You guys see what's inside? It's coffee. It's an Americano. It's an espresso. Sometimes we feel afraid and sometimes we feel safe. Could something I just did be the reason why that's the case? For many of you, you don't really understand yet. And that's okay. But if I say that to you, you now feel a different way. If I say that to you, you might now feel a little on guard. Wait, what are you saying? I don't get things? I don't understand things? Do we see that the things that are presented to us determine how we feel? Yet, if right now I just show you this, what is this, guys? I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I'll make the sound. If someone's not looking at the visual, they might not even know what this is. Do you guys understand? What is that sound, guys? What is that making it? I use it for an interrupt. I use it to change my path. I use it to change my recency. I use it as a reminder for how far I've come and how much progress I've made. And for some of you, it might be a reminder of, I'm finally home. I can finally relax today. Do we get it? It's not as simple as just what I present to you. It's not as simple as just what I say to you. It's not as simple as just what I show you. So the question was, why do sometimes we feel safe and sometimes we feel afraid? What if nothing has actually changed? We're in the same location, or we haven't even done anything yet. We're about to try something. And why is it that one day we'll feel safe and the next day we won't? I think all of you can think about this in anything in your life, from playing a game, doing a sports competition, anything. Sometimes you feel unstoppable. Sometimes you feel like you're in the right spot, that everything just makes sense. And in other times, you're worried. You're worried about what could be. You're worried about what others might say. You're worried that you're going to get hurt. You're worried and you're afraid. Yet, it's the exact same scenario. What changed? Things did change. But what if actually nothing overt changed? What if nothing overt changed? What is overt? Think of it as things that we can see, right? So, this is an overt change. Drinking something from a mug, coffee. That's an overt change. Do you guys understand? It's very obvious if it's there or not. So if you feel better or safe, if there's an overt change present, do you guys understand? Doesn't mean that it's always good, but you can start piecing things together. But was it actually the overt change that caused that feeling? Most of us attribute success criteria or results to overt changes. Most of us determine if we're going to succeed or if we should continue doing something, or the reason why we felt safe or the reason why something did well, because if we look around and try to identify all the overt changes. And I'm telling you, That's not sufficient. That's the bait. Avert changes help. Avert changes, well, and they also can hurt, but avert changes are there for when you're beginning the journey. When you don't understand yet why sometimes you feel safe and sometimes you feel afraid. Because I'm telling you guys that all those things are, those feelings are paths. If you've been listening to my stuff, and this is for myself, so since I listen to it all the time, it's a path. Something took us on a journey to walk from location A to location Z. And it doesn't matter what it was, but something caused an action, created an event, and then we responded to it. And if at any point, as we're walking from A to Z, you guys understand, there's going to be things that occur, right? And each one of those can further along the feeling of safety or further along the feeling of fear. Depending on how you respond to them, right, could determine which side path you walk, because you're on that main path from A to Z. And if you get to Z, you do something or you reach something or I'm not going to say succeed, because who determines success? What if I say the only reason I will do this video today is if it gets 2 million views? So you see, I'm determining the success criteria, but how did I get to determining that success criteria? I talk about that in another video, but do you guys see? So if my Z is I need 2 million views, well, what's going to get there, right? I'm saying just an outcome. Can I actually do a video today? And how do I feel doing it? We're not actually grading the result. We're not grading the outcome. We're just saying it's an A or B. Yes or no. It's pretty binary. Check mark. That's what I'm talking about when something gets you from a path from A to Z. So then you're just doing something. It doesn't even matter if you win or if you lose, because do you guys see that if you start understanding all this knowledge that I'm talking about, you realize that most things that determine if we win or lose is actually something else around us. Most of us just base a victory or what is a success based on what other people have told us or what other things have intentionally reminded us to make us believe that that's what a victory is. So that's why I'm telling you guys, getting to Z, it doesn't actually matter what the result is, okay? It doesn't matter. That's not what we're talking about today, because it just, once you understand that, I could tell you, for me today, the success criteria was just be able to have another sip of coffee, since it's been quite a while, because I created a self-intentional challenge. Could I limit myself from having another cup of coffee to experience and simulate the feeling of not having something that I consider a shield, something that makes me positive, something that makes me feel safe, something that makes me believe, something that helps me, something that I have insane amount of positive conditioning to for my entire life, and that I also self-created more positive associations with. If that's taken away, how do I feel? Well, most people would be frustrated because we're reliant on it. We're reliant on that tool. So when I saw that there was an opportunity for that to be taken away, and had nothing to do, I couldn't decide if I would be able to get more again. When we think about it, that's usually why all of us get destroyed. Because they take away something that we hold near and dear to our heart, or something that we're reliant on, or something that we feel that we need, or something that we feel allows us to, what we said earlier, can get the victory, what we consider the victory. So if they take that away, right, we feel a certain way, we feel afraid, we feel destroyed, we feel something like that. Remember what I said, because we trying to get to Z, and there's all these events that happen on the way to Z. So I'm saying, do you guys see, I could change my win criteria easily for this video. I could say that I already won because I actually got to have a sip of coffee again, and it's been quite a while. So that means that my Z, I've already reached Z. Do you guys understand? I've already reached Z. Now, the outcome of this, whatever happens, whatever result falls, it doesn't even matter anymore. I'm not saying that I don't hope that positive things can occur from it, that I don't hope that it can reach a vast amount of people and spread this knowledge and start making people question things and start piecing things together, how this works. So I'm trying to explain things in, yet again, a different light. But I'm also doing it for myself, just as a reminder, because it's been a while since I did a video and a stream. And to be able to go back to this and just create my own thing with just a few tools around me that most people wouldn't consider tools. They would just consider them food or water, sustenance. And I'm using them as tools to explain complicated knowledge that actually deciphers why the human brain, why the human operates the way it does. Because we all don't understand why we do the things that we do. So if someone can explain it in such a way that makes sense to us, well, then we can start operating differently. All right. So do you guys see my win criteria now has already been met? I drank coffee. So nothing now matters anymore because I already reached Z. But what if my win criteria was I need to get a 1 hour video, all right? I need to get a 1 hour recording of this, and it has to be flawless, no interruptions. There's gonna probably be a few interruptions that occur here shortly. And what does that mean? I'm not gonna stop. Nothing's gonna happen because I already won. Do you guys understand? But yet I'm telling you guys, when those events happen, right, they cause a response. And they can cause us to either walk off the Z path, right? Because if you put Z all the way over here, I need to get 1 hour video, all right? I'm only here right now. I'm at the beginning. I'm like on step 3 out of like 100, let's say 100 to the hour video. So if at any point an interruption happens, right, so then I can go down to the fear path or the destruction path or the sad path. It's still a side path to the main one, right, the 1 hour video. But I'm like, oh gosh. So do you guys understand that if at any point you put your Z at the beginning, which is, hey, I got a sip of coffee while doing this, that's already a victory. I won. Anything else that comes from this is an incredible positive. Do you guys see that? That means that it doesn't mean that I still am not going to continue my path. I'm still walking all the way to that Z as well. But now I'm not putting a limit on myself of how long the video has to be or how much I have to cover, what I have to cover. It's just there in the distance. It's just a little flag, a little banner. And I can see it through the sandstorm. And it don't get lost. But do you guys understand? It doesn't actually matter all the side paths that occur. Because since I already reached my victory, that means that any event that occurs from here on out won't actually deviate my path. Yet, here's the key. It could change how I feel. If all of a sudden right now, there's a meteor shower outside from a comet, a dark comet that is floating around the sky. Maybe it's Sirius B finally, the extra moon revealed itself and shows that there's like aliens on another moon and that they colonized it, and they're coming down in these what they call meteors, and like right out here, outside where I am currently staying at. I'm just like, oh my gosh, and you hear people like either screaming or laughing. You guys decide. Well, what if they're screaming? And I see all this, and like there's just fire in the sky, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the great calamity. What are we gonna do? What if I hear someone's like, hurry, please, we need help? I might not stop my path. Yet, might I feel different? I can still walk the same path. Yet all of a sudden, you see, I might know, hey, I shouldn't deviate my path due to an event that causes a response. Because think about it. All right, guys, if right now I say, I need you to drink something. And you are presented 2 mugs in front of you. They have different, one has coffee and one has water. Or for some of you, I want you to think about it as one has poisoned water, the illusion of Gaia, and one has regular water. When an event occurs, you get to choose. Do I drink this one or do I drink this one? Yet, if you don't actually know what's inside the mug, how would you guys choose? Which one is coffee and which one is water, guys? The right or the left? If you don't know, most of us don't know. You kind of have to just guess. You just kind of go based on your inclination in the moment. And when that occurs, it means that something else can guide our path. Because remember what I just said, it goes based on your inclination in the moment. Like, well, I usually just feel like the left one is better. I usually just choose left in these situations. Okay, let's just go left. But what if I told you actually that the reason why you maybe chose left, or maybe you have that inclination, is because of the things that were presented to you, or the things that were being reminded to you beforehand. So now let's take a step back, right? So with that big event, the meteor shower, the calamity that presented then the 2 mugs, do I go outside and check what people are doing, or do I continue my path of doing this video on the stream? When that occurred, this is awesome, by the way. This is fun. When that occurred, think of it like there was little invisible side conditional branches that occurred that we don't see because they're not actual major events, right? Because remember what we talked about at the beginning, the overt outcomes, the overt things that we see that occur that make us determine usually an attribute, success or failure, safety or fear. So what I'm telling you guys is that in that path, right? So think of it like each one's like a little chess piece that you move. Okay, so now the meteor shower happened on turn 50 out of 100. Like, oh my gosh, from the comet. But before that, around like 24, 48, stuff like that, there were these invisible events that occurred. Okay? What are invisible events? Think of it as a visible event as like, hey guys, did you know that water helps you talk better? It helps you keep focused. It interrupts things. It makes you remember what matters and what doesn't. Hey guys, do you know that coffee can dehydrate you? And yeah, if you talk a lot, that could be bad. All right, moving on. So what did I just do there? Nothing happened, right? There was no avert thing. I just threw those in. That's information. Most of you don't even think twice about it. You're like, okay, yeah, whatever. Then what if I say, hey guys, I heard that the coffee is made in Frankfurt, Germany. And the Germans, do you remember they used to be Holocaust people? Yeah. Why would we ever support those kind of people? Hey guys, this water is from a beautiful grove, nature with water lilies, purple flowers that are reminders to heal. And there's women and children running around smiling because they're free. They're the ones who preserve this clean water. That's what we get to drink every day. All right, so now the event happens. There's 2 mugs. Which one do you choose? But all of a sudden, this time, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'm gonna just be like, I don't want to spill. But now you actually get to see a little bit of either it has water or if it has coffee. You actually get to see now, just a little bit, what's inside the mug. Whereas before, you couldn't. Yet, for some reason, some reason, most of you would choose the water one in this case. Why did I just say that for you? Think about that. I didn't even give you a choice. I didn't ask you. Is that happening to you guys? Is someone telling you things, or is something around you, or something that you consume telling you things like who you are or what you should do? It's called a suggestion. Yeah, you're going to choose the water one because, right, you're someone who likes helping women and children smile and being in nature. Do you guys understand? You're like, yeah, that aligns with who I am. Why would it align with who you are? It's from something in the past, right? Something that's been repeatedly pushed into you from the past. You're like, yeah, I'm a water lily kind of person. Have you ever said something like that? That's just you the world, your conditioning, what they've installed in you. And yet you all take pride in that. It's not a good thing. Why is that not a good thing? What if right now I asked you guys, I don't know if you can see this. It's an egg, okay? I haven't had an egg in probably 5-6 weeks, something like that. Again, a self-intentional limit that I created for myself based on the things that were occurring in my life. It doesn't have any seasoning whatsoever. And yet, I'm an extremely good cook and chef and the butcher. I know how to season recipes. I know how to create any flavor profile on demand. I can make Mexican dishes. I can make German dishes. I know how to describe them. I know how to make sauces. I know how to make soups. I know how to make anything. I can even bake without recipes. Some of you right now might think that I'm a braggart. Some of you are like, whoa, could you teach me? Yet again, why would you feel that way? Do you guys see? But am I not telling you something? Now you can look into the mug. What if I didn't tell you that? What if I just said, hey guys, yeah, so here, I'm gonna have a bite of my egg, and you just saw this, all right? Does that look very appetizing to you? I just cooked it. Yet I knew exactly how much time I wanted. But for me, it's also an approximation. Since it's not seasoned, of a German cuisine called the 3-minute egg. 3 Minuten Eier. Where you put it in a little egg holder and then you use this special tool that like cracks the top, or you can use a spoon to do that. And maybe sometimes you add some mustard on it and you just eat it like that. And maybe a little salt if you want. But you boil it for like 3 minutes in water. Do you guys know that it changes based on the elevation? How much time you need to get it just right? But wait, why does that matter? It doesn't. But most people are worried about that. Hey, this time I'm going to do 3 minutes and 30 seconds. This time I'm going to do 4 minutes. This time I'm going to do, let's try 2 minutes, see what happens. You guys see, if it's an experiment, it's not a mistake. No rhyme or reason. Yet, most of you, when you see this, will have a response, okay? When you see this, some of you are like, oh my God, that looks disgusting. How can you eat that? But it's not seasoned, no salt, no pepper. That's not how you cook an egg. This is meant to be an over easy egg, and this is what it became. You hear what I said? It was meant to be. Why? It doesn't matter. Because then I was just like, well, the only tool I have is a spoon. How am I going to get it off of the frying pan? Well, yet some of you might say that this is a mistake. Some of you might be like, ugh, look at this guy. Doesn't even know how to make eggs. That right there is based on all the... So right now we have the event. The meteor shower. Me showing you guys the egg is the meteor shower. What are you going to do? Right? Your response. But your response has been previously modified by these invisible events that have been occurred the entire time. Now we got here to the path might not be over yet, right, for you guys, but still, I created an event right now by showing you the egg, an overt thing that presented info to you, senses that can change what's in your mind, your recency. You didn't have that before. You might not even know I had a bowl, a spoon, and an egg in front of me until this point. Do you guys understand? That means that something intentionally presented that to you to make you now aware of that. Yet, your response to that is most likely going to be determined by all the invisible events that have occurred previously. If you are someone who all the events are, you've been trying to learn how to cook. You've been trying to learn how to cook. And you know what? You're doing a great job. I'm proud of you. You should cook some more. Because you know how to experiment. You know how to try. You're not afraid about following recipes and getting it right. You're someone, hear what I'm saying? Do you guys hear all the suggestions? You're someone who knows that you just have to try. Piece things together. And if it doesn't come out exactly the way you want it, not what someone else wanted, you just modify. I'm like, oh, cool, next time I'm gonna lower the heat. Next time I'll add maybe a little sweet flavor profile. What could it be that? Should I add some sugar? Should I add like a sauce? Should I add, should I try cooking with butter versus oil? Like, do you guys understand? You're someone who's been doing that. But maybe before that, you talk to someone like myself who agrees with you that that's how we should cook, because it's an opportunity to showcase our experimentation, our inability to be worried about getting it right and having to do what other people say is correct. Because what if I told you that everyone else tells me you have to use 2 eggs, you have to cook it at the 3 heat line item, you have to use butter, you have to use a pinch of salt, a pizca. What's a pizca? A pinch of salt, how much is that? You have to use 1 spoonful of pepper, and you have to use basil and a little bit of paprika. And otherwise, you don't know how to cook eggs. So what about instead you were that person who only got told by everyone else? What if they tried to cook an egg like the way I did before, or they saw someone else cook an egg and they heard their mom literally critique the egg? If they heard the mom critique the egg, would they still do the same thing? No, they wouldn't cook the same way. So, I ask all of you, do you guys understand those are invisible events that occur, that change whether or not our response to the meteor shower that presents itself? Right now, what you guys are experiencing is myself just pausing, because the meteor shower is occurring in my reality right now. What does that mean? It means that an overt outcome happened. Not a bad one at all. Do you guys understand? Not a bad one at all. Yet, my initial reaction, my initial feel is being controlled by something. Because nothing bad has happened. You guys understand? Yet, my initial feel is being controlled by something. And I'm saying it's being controlled by all the invisible events that, remember what I said, the conditional branch, A or B, you have a choice, that have occurred from the past. So right now, when the meteor shower occurred in my reality, and I have to respond, I'm like, okay, ooh, a dragon popped up and is trying to destroy the realm reborn. I'm like, wait, is it actually trying to destroy the realm reborn? Why do I feel that way? Oh, I don't. So why did I initially feel that way? So could that have made me choose to walk a different path? Absolutely. But you guys see, it's based on all the invisible events that happened before. If you don't brace, if you don't understand how you got to that initial feeling that caused that, Do you guys understand that you feel a certain way and you don't even understand? So then when the choice presents itself, okay guys, which mug are you going to choose? Are you going to choose the coffee mug or the water mug? You don't even see what's in it. So you just guess, or you choose, for some reason you always choose the coffee mug knowing that supposedly it's poison, but you don't understand why. You just do it. And I'm saying it's based on all the invisible events that happened from turn 1 to turn 50 that occurred over and over again that made you now feel a certain way. So then you're like, okay, well, I'm going to choose that path now. Do you guys even remember that just a few minutes ago I was talking about the egg? Why did I have to change my path? Because the meteor shower occurred. Do you guys understand? Yet I'm still not deviating my overall path. Remember what we talked about earlier? My Z has already occurred. So whatever happens now doesn't matter. But do you guys see that I still had to respond to the meteor shower event? Something presented itself. Doesn't mean it's bad or good, but you guys understand you have to respond. Yet most of us respond based on how we feel and based on what has been invisibly repeated to us. And I'm saying most of us think we're responding based on the overt outcomes. And I'm saying the majority of us, if not all of us, until you're aware of this knowledge, respond exclusively based on the invisible outcomes. Because I'm telling you, the moment the meteor shower occurred, in my reality right now, the first thing that was programmed inside of me was a feeling of fear. Yet I'm like, there's no reason to. Do we understand? So I had to talk through it and explain it, and then now it's gone, and now I feel safety. So how did they create that? We talk about that in the other videos, but I want you guys to understand what I just said. I felt that way without my choosing. Do we understand what I just said? I felt that way without choosing to feel that way. It's the programmed, expected feeling that's been installed in us to a stimuli, to an event that occurs. And when that happens, you don't have a choice. You're forced to feel something. And when that happens, most of us then choose to walk based on that feeling. If right now you're afraid of something, what are you going to do? You might avoid it, you might fight back, you might protect yourself, you might choose. You guys understand? But all those things are based on, again, the invisible events that have happened to you. What if every time when you felt fear, you chose to fight back? What happened if every single time you felt fear, you chose to fight back in the past because it worked for you? It succeeded. It led to positive outcomes. What would you do this time then? Oh, I feel the fear. I have to fight back. If right now, I've used this example in the past, but it's extremely powerful. If right now I tell all of you, hey, you guys suck. You're bad at cooking. You're bad at cleaning. You're bad at your job. Why you still work? You're not worth. You're worth so much more, yet you don't think you're worth anything. Some of you are like, oh yeah, really? Let me show you. Do you guys understand? That is your response to those words, those overt thing that was presented to you. I'm attacking you, provoking you. And your response to the provocation is being guided by the invisible things that have occurred before. Yet most of you can't even piece that together. Because I'm telling you, when the event happens, you feel that way immediately. In the moment I say those things, some of you are like, others, by the way, there's going to be people that when I did those attacks to you and those provocations saying that you're not good at something, there's going to be some people that instead curl up in a ball, sit down and cry, feel fear, worry, are sad. You're like, you're right. I'm not good at anything. And they will completely stop their path. they will never get to Z because they put Z all the way at the end of the world. And they never get to reach their Z, right? The end of the path, the end of the outcome, because their victory, their success criteria is at the end. So then all that someone has to do is present those three things that I just said. Hey, you suck, you're bad at this, you're bad at this. And now it's reaffirmed. And then they're off the Z path completely. Yet I'm telling you, someone else, I say that to them, their guided response now is, oh really? Let me show you. So now they were stuck, right? You see, the turn 50 happened to get to their Z, their victory. They need to reach turn 100. They were stuck, and then all of a sudden you say that to them. They're like, let me prove you wrong. And now they jump from 50 all the way to 60, and now they're going faster. Yet, you heard what I said, they jumped from 50 to 60. So that means they're skipping steps. They didn't actually experience the whole journey. They didn't learn everything. They don't understand. They needed the event. They needed a meteor shower to provoke them, to cause them to do something. Because they can't do the same thing without it. So, now let's take a step back. Can you do the same things if you're not seasoned? It's easy right now for any one of us to want to watch something or read something or play something if it's been repeated to us repeatedly. If I tell you, hey, you know what? It's been a while. It's been a while since we watched Lion King. Used to be my favorite childhood movie. It's the circle of life. Do you remember the part when Simba looks up to the sky, sees the cloud, and remembers who he is? And then he charges. Dun 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 dun. We got this, Rafiki. We're gonna get our Nala. Anyway, you wanna watch a movie later? Many of you might be like, maybe. Anyway, let's continue. Later, all of a sudden, you don't watch a movie right then. But what if a few hours later, you go on a social media website that you enjoy, and you see a post about lions defeating hyenas. About protecting themselves and their loved ones. You're like, oh my gosh, oh yeah, that's like Lion King. That's awesome. You hear what I just said? That's awesome. That's like Lion King. Why would it make us think of Lion King? We hadn't thought about Lion King or watched Lion King in maybe months or years. Then you listen to a video from Shepherd Star. And he points at the lion and says, no matter how many times I fall, I will still rise. Lions hunt in the open. No fear. Create your victory condition in the beginning. You determine it. Anything that happens afterwards doesn't matter. All those invisible events don't matter. Because when the meteor shower occurs, you can then choose because you understand why you feel the way that you do. And you can walk forward regardless. You don't choose your response based on what they've been seasoning us with invisibly beforehand. You just charge and do what you choose. No hesitation. Lions, roar. Are you ready to roar with me? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway, so then the next day occurs. You wake up, you're feeling actually pretty good. And let's just say you have a family. Parents, kids, siblings, whatever it is for you guys, girl, kid, whatever, pets. You guys imagine it. And then they're like, hey, we should watch a movie. Many of you, when that happens, then you go to your TV, you see the Disney Plus app. Like, oh yeah, Lion King. You know what? It's been so much time since we've watched Lion King. Do you want to watch Lion King? Or you might just do it. You might just watch it. And you don't even understand necessarily why. You're like, well, yeah, of course I do. It's just, I got reminded of it. Hear what I said, I got reminded of it. What if something intentionally reminded you of it? Remember I said, those invisible events that occurred beforehand. You didn't even think of it, right? But what were they? You thought that, oh, it's just, this one is telling me to hunt in the open, to have no fear. This one's telling me to I was just remembering my childhood when I had like Lion King towels and things of that nature. When a mom walked by my stroller and looked into the stroller and saw me, like, oh, this guy's a lion. He's going to be a leader. He's going to have no fear. Aren't those positive things? Aren't those things that make us feel safe? Aren't those things that make us believe? So then, when the event of the meteor shower occurs, it says, hey, which one are you going to choose? Are you going to choose to watch Lion King or not? Most of us choose to watch Lion King for a good reason. Do we understand? There's nothing inherently on paper, because you have to understand the complexities of the path. You have to see the whole tree, right? Because, so think of it like there's roots, and they planted all these roots. Those are the invisible events. And then you get to the tree itself. But then there's all the little branches, right? If you watch the movie, the tree is now fully grown, but now the branches occur. But if you don't watch the movie, the tree can't ever occur. Do you guys understand? Like, the tree doesn't actually fully bloom. So you can't ever go onto the branches. So what ends up happening is that most of us are like, well, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I watch Lion King? It makes me feel good. It makes me feel safe. It does all these things. Why wouldn't I? And I got reminded of it. It's such a good reminder. It's been such a good, extensive amount of time since I've done so. This is awesome. And you're right. You feel good. You feel safe. You feel better. But do you guys hear what I said? All of a sudden, all those branches would never occur. So what ends up happening is that, remember, you've been trying to get to Z. Whatever your Z is that you self-sourced, that you chose. I'm telling you guys need to put that at the beginning. Your victory condition, not what other people tell you. Not what other things have suggested to you. But when you watch that movie, all of a sudden, your Z has changed. Now your path is different. You can eventually get back to that. You can. It's possible. But you guys understand, now, once you go into that, after you watch the movie, you're like, well, hey, you watched it with like your girl and your kid. Or maybe you guys have been trying to have a kid. You're like, hey, let's try to have a kid. I want our little lion. All of a sudden, you're like, wait, what were you originally going to do? So now you might get back to what you were originally going to do, but you guys see now you're approaching it from a different angle. Do we see that? And this is also for myself. Like, so now let's take a step back. I just want people to understand, like, you see, we got on a branch path. They actually changed our path. They deviated our path, and we didn't even understand how. Each and every one of us. If you respond to the event, but if you respond to the event that happens, the meteor shower, based on the invisible events, then they change your path. If you respond based on your own knowledge on who you are, no hesitation, then they can't deviate your path. Yet, do you understand? It still created a... What? Do you guys understand what I was going to talk about? The egg. The unseasoned egg. The German 3-minute Eier. That's what I was going to talk about. Yet the meteor shower occurred. And yet I had a choice. Remember what I told you guys? The programmed feeling that is created in me when that event happened was a feeling of fear based on the invisible events that have occurred previously that have created that feeling to me, that made me know that problems occur when this meteor shower happens. Even if they do or not. Do you guys understand? But in the past, usually they have. And that's just subconsciously. You guys understand? So if it is repeated sufficiently, eventually, all they have to do is make that meteor shower happen again. Oh my gosh, the meteor shower is happening again. You feel that way. And you don't even understand why. So, if it happens enough, right? But you guys see, I had to now walk like this. Think of it like straight line. My hand right here. Meteor shower occurred right here. So now, think of it like a little bracket, but from upside down. So I had to go like this, and now I'm back here. But think about all that happened right here. And we're just now on turn, this is turn 51, this is turn 50, this is turn 51. But all this right here occurred because of the meteor shower event at turn 50. And now we're back at 51. But do you understand that the majority of us, instead, when this event happens right here, we were, I call it conditioning, right, and programmed. That's what it is, but I'm trying to explain it to you guys with basic terms, right? The event occurred, the invisible events that happened beforehand, always all pointed upwards in this direction. Fear, 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 fear. So when the meteor shower event, oh, fear. And now you know how to protect yourself, or you know how to fight back, or you know what, so instead of going down here and doing this whole battle to get clarity, you go up here. So then you end up over here. So now you're on turn 60. But actually, many of you instead, actually, the tree blooms. And now you're on a branch. Now you're actually all the way over here. You think you're still around turn 60, but instead, most of you will not go back to the same thing. Most of you don't know how to tie it back together. You won't go back to talking about what you did. You forgot. And if you do remember, you're lucky. Most of you now are up here. You think that you're still on the same path as Z, but you're not. You started a new path. You're now on turn 1. Turn 1. And yet, most of you are still operating with your old Z that you've put into this. That Z is over here. It's now outdated because you've changed. There's new things that have been installed into you. But you're still operating down here as your success criteria, or up here. Fear, safety. Fear, safety. Either one. Most of you are operating based on fear. Proving yourself, caring what other people think, all that stuff. So you're up here. This is your Z. I need to prove them wrong. I need to get money. I need to win. Yet, you think you're still over here, right? Because of all the progress you've done. You're not. They reset you to 1. So then, you start walking, and nothing is working out the way it used to. Or things have changed, and you don't understand why. You just can't piece things together. because you're walking this path, thinking that you're still on it, but you're on this path. So you're doing the things that you think should work, or that it should operate the way the reality works, but it doesn't. The success doesn't happen. You feel different, or things are just not occurring. The responses are different. You don't understand why. And I'm saying it's because you're on a new path, and they changed your path. Doesn't mean that you can't go from here to Z over here, right? I'm not saying it's not possible. But you guys understand, you're on this path now, each and every one of you. But you didn't even choose it. You guys didn't even choose that path. Each and every single one of you. So when they put you on this path, I want you guys to think about it. Any storyline that you're currently doing, every single storyline, every single one, from innocent things to major things. From friends to your girlfriend, to your sexy leg girl, who you're having coffee with a croissant, to the movies you watch, to the books you read, to whether you decide to write a book today, or you decide to create a new story. All those things, they change your path without every single one of you even realizing it. And I'm telling you, it's based on how we feel. I always use the example of a video game. I used to design video games, and one day I will again. But they've stopped me from doing so again by doing this. Do you guys understand? Because every time I've tried, every single time I try, they create a fear event in myself, and I don't want to taint my design. So since they always try to taint it, I don't do it. Do you guys see? Because when the event happens, I see that, I understand it, and I choose, okay, I'm just gonna wait. And that's still the correct play. Do you guys understand? But do you guys see they're stopping people like that? But what if you just did it regardless? That could work. But most of you will do based on how you feel. Oh, I'm going to show them. I'm going to design something. So now you just march on ahead. If you march on ahead, doesn't mean it's always bad. But remember, you got seasoned previously. If you don't create distance from something and let yourself basically reset, what ends up happening is that the way we walk, the way we operate, is primarily guided through those invisible events. Even someone that is aware of all this, I notice it and I fight it, but do you guys understand? Even fighting it is a response. It's not simple. But I want all of you to understand this right now. We're about to get back to turn 51. This rant, this explanation is showing you guys the answer. This is everything that needs to go into every single decision that you make. This is how you combat the feeling of safety versus fear. This is how you break every chain. This is how you remember. This is how you defeat the invisible events of conditioning that they've created in you. And then when you feel that programmed reaction, whatever it is, fear or safety, belief or disbelief, you get to choose yourself, because you know, though, that it's still going to deviate, but it's not going to get you off your path. But think about it. We had to do a side quest. I call them side quests, right? This was a side quest that wasn't planned. Is it good? I made it good. Yet, I could have used it for bad. But this is how much goes into something when they present an overt thing. Yet, most of you today, if not all of you, I challenge all of you to think about this, will just respond and walk forward, not thinking. You think you're doing the correct thing, you're just walking forward, but you're just doing your choices based on what's been previously, the invisible things that have occurred before. All right, so now let's explain it simple, how I was originally going to. This egg's not seasoned. Doesn't maybe look very appetizing or appealing. Now it's cold. I didn't eat it when it's warm. Some of you, let's just say it, a girl who absolutely beautiful. She's been spoiled her entire life, truly, like, well, most people consider the rating system, right? 10 out of 10, whatever it is for you, right? And she's incredible. The way she makes that dress and her boots, and she just makes you happy. But yet, since this girl has been spoiled her entire life, and her parents had money and she was rich, and she had the looks, and she was always encouraged to be, you know, the queen. Because in many ways, right, she is the princess of the king, right? They have money and all that stuff. Well, they had a private chef, a butcher. The best foods, the best eggs, from the chicken that is treated wonderfully, right? Not saying bad, right? But she was used to well-seasoned presentation. They had like little flowers and sprinkles on it and stuff like that, and fancy plates and the proper dinner etiquette and all that stuff like that. Those are all invisible events, right? So I come up to her, I'm like, hey, I made you an egg. Do you want it? Or here you go. She might scoff at me. She's like, what the? Who are you? I'm better than this. I'm not gonna eat it. Also, you're weird. You're beneath me. What if we think that that's her choosing that path because, you know, they made her spoiled, they made her judgmental. And sure, all those things are not wrong. But what if actually the main culprit behind that, we think, is they conditioned them to that? And they did. But there's something deeper, a deeper layer that goes, dig, 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 dig deeper. The deeper layer is, it's the feeling of safety or fear. What if she got seen eating that egg and enjoying it? Hanging out with someone who talks about this weird stuff. Shepherd Star, Shepherd Talisman. He's not afraid to explain things and just say it as it is. Her people don't associate with commoners. Wait, am I a commoner? Who knows? That's what they think, because someone who's not a commoner wouldn't cook an egg like this. They know how to cook an egg the correct way. So what if she actually enjoys what I say and the way I act, the way I behave, and that I'm willing to not be afraid, literally show that I made an egg like this and I'm using it as a tool to explain things. And she appreciates that. It makes her laugh and makes her believe and makes her consider things. So I'm like, hey, why don't you comment? Why don't you send me a message? She can't, because she's worried. She feels fear. What if they found out that she believes in this knowledge? What if they found out she doesn't want to be that rich spoiler? She wants to be able to eat that egg, but she can't. She literally can't. She's chained because she feels fear. If I choose to eat that egg right now, that's unseasoned, that doesn't look appetizing, how does it look? What are the consequences from this? What is it going to happen? Is my family going to disown me? Are they going to mock me? Are they going to laugh at me? Am I going to lose my inheritance, the money. Am I gonna lose my med spa that my dad got me? Like what? What about all my Instagram followers? Are they gonna stop following me if they find out that I did this? So, do you understand that then when I present that egg to her, we think that she's judging. We think that she's hating on it. We think that she's hating it. Yet, what if I'm telling you her response is just being guided by all those invisible events that make her feel the fear? But you guys see how complex this gets. We think that, oh, it's because she's judgmental. Oh, she doesn't like those eggs seasoned like that. And you're not wrong, right? She got conditioned to that, but there's something deeper. Do you guys see? It's the invisible feeling of safety or fear. So when that is provoked, when that's response, when that feeling is created initially to any one event, you guys remember I said turn 50 to turn 51, all that goes into it. She never had to do all that. Do you guys understand? All right here that I just did. I'm still doing it, by the way, but now we finally got to turn 51. All this she never did. So think about it. That was my response to meteor shower. When I present the egg to her, the meteor shower occurs. Yet she immediately then she feels the fear. She's like, oh yeah, maybe I would want to try because I think this guy is onto something. I respect him. I like him. But nope. So she goes all the way over here. She thinks that she's over here now, but not. But then she's like, I can't because I whatever, like my followers are going to say. So then she just keeps walking this way. She might even, she'll reject it. Maybe she does it. She's like, I want to look good for the commoners and poor folks. So I'll have one bite. But you guys understand, she's doing it for a different reason. Her response is because she's afraid of what the other people will say. So she's doing it actually because of that. But she's not doing it because she believes or she feels safe. She's doing it, do you guys understand? It's to avoid the fear, avoid the consequences. You see all that entire response, her path that she walked, her Z is all the way in the distance, right? She needs to maintain things that she has. She doesn't want to lose. Because she never created self-intentional limits. Like I said, I haven't had coffee in forever. Can I have one now? I haven't had an egg in forever. Can I have one now? Or not? When the event occurs, it's all based on our feeling. Do you guys understand? And if they can previously create that feeling in you, intentionally, sufficiently in the past, without you even realizing where it happened, all the events that happened, and all the info that happened that made you feel that way, then when a meteor shower occurs, you're like, oh no, a meteor shower. What if it actually leads to good if you can just resist in the moment? But if you've never been taught or trained on how to do the entire deciphering and deconstructing step that occurs right here, you never get to turn 51. Your path got interrupted and you start a new path. Oh, I'm the girl, yeah. You know what? I'll have one bite. But this is a new path. This is so that my followers don't think I'm a stuck-up bitch. That's actually pretty good, even unseasoned. It really is like the German 3-minute hiya. It's awesome. So now let's take another step back. This egg. This egg is not seasoned. Most of us, I normally would choose to season it, by the way, just so you guys understand, in the past. Because I know what makes it better. Not what other people have told me. I've destroyed that chain, right? I don't care what other people tell me is a good egg or how it should be done. Because most of us are guided by that. I've destroyed that, right? Because I don't care about the safety or fear feeling. Yet, There's one other thing that presents itself. And it's our own knowledge. If you destroy that initial thing, right, about caring what other people can say, of safety and fear, it's our own knowledge. We know what's better. We know our positives. We know our negatives, despite either they created them in us, or we created them ourselves, or we just know that's just how it is. So we know. I'm like, I know how to make a really good egg. I know. So why would I intentionally choose to not make the best egg that I can with my skill set or my knowledge? You guys understand? Most of you would be like, that's absurd. Why would you intentionally choose not to make the best egg that you can? Why? Ask yourself, each and every one of you, if right now you made an egg, would you ever choose to not season it the best way that you learned that maybe you enjoy? Now you've defeated making it for other people. You don't even care. I'm like, yeah, I'm cooking for myself and for other people. But I know the best way based on my opinion. Yeah, was it actually? But that's another question entirely. And you know the best way for yourself. Would you choose to not do that intentionally? I call that a self-created limit. But also, can you just choose to do that, to explore? No rhyme or reason. But why? Most of you be like, why would you do that? You know the best thing. You know what works. You know what's safe. You know what's good. Why would you choose to use worse? Why would you choose to use not the best things? It doesn't make sense. Because then, if you choose to use the worst things or things that hurt you in the past, or things that maybe led to losses, or things that you're like, oh, you're only going to have one egg, you haven't had one in months, and you're going to choose to not season it? You're going to choose to cook it differently? Not the best way that you know? What's wrong with you? That might remind you of reality, that you don't have good things, that you've lost things, that you can't do all the things that you want. Won't you feel like worse then and fear? Sure. What if it's an intentional choice? I really want each and every one of you to ask yourself this. Have you ever paused and been able to intentionally choose to do something that you know isn't the best path? It has no necessarily consequences because you know exactly why you're doing it. I'm telling you, 99.9% of you never would do so. And that's intentional because you're entirely guided and you're entirely walk the path that you do based on the feeling of safety or fear that they've created into you before. Whatever it is. And if you know you want to avoid it, or you know you want to replicate it, or you know what it could lead to or what it can't lead to. And that's how you guys walk. I'm telling you, once you learn the best way to cook, the best way to clean, why would you guys do anything else is what most of you ask. Would you ever choose to clean your ears with Q-tips with a different way than what works? Would you? Why would you? Isn't that just wasting time? Isn't that just doing things not ideally? What's the purpose? No one sees how you clean your ears. No one's there for it. It's just you alone. So why would you do that? Most of you would never do that. Exactly. Because you're like, there's no reason. There's no point. It has no consequence on anyone. But wait, it does. Because you're proving to yourself. You're like, I don't need to prove anything to myself. No, you do. Because you need to destroy the chain and the lock that they put on you. Whatever it is, for every single thing that I can. Because I'm telling each and every one of you, and this is including myself in the past. It hasn't been this way for a while, but I'm telling you, they do this for everything. You just can't. It doesn't matter what it is. And yet, you don't have to prove it wrong. You don't have to. You don't. But I'm telling you, if you can't even do it with something simple as, can I clean my ears a different way with a Q-tip? Just to be like, can I? Because the question is going to be, why would you? There really isn't, on paper, inherently, a lot of positive to it. There really isn't. You spent 20 seconds doing it instead of 5. And actually, you kind of hurt your ear, and you didn't get all the earwax. Jelly beans. Do you all understand? What if it's showing that despite whatever invisible events have occurred, good and negative, fear or safety, rewards or punishment, results or no results, your Z is my victory condition. Can I just use a Q-tip to clean my ears 20 seconds a different way than I normally do? How many of you spend even 1 second thinking about these things for every single decision? How many of you spend 1 second even thinking about that? You don't. They're like, okay, well, yeah, that sounds exhausting. That's exactly the problem. This needs to go into every single decision that you do until you finally understand what is your decision and what's not. Once you get to that point, then you don't have to spend as much time thinking about it, because then you can choose. Yet right now, each and every one of you chooses based on the overall Z that they determine for you based on safety or fear, whatever's been repeated or most, the victory condition. Oh my gosh, yeah, if my family knew that I spent 20 seconds on a Q-tip and they would, do you guys just hear what you said? You would never not use the best things, each and every one of you. So, I ask all of you right now, could each and every one of you make an egg that's not seasoned, cook it differently than you've ever had before, whatever happens after like 5, 6, 7 minutes, you just take it off the pan, scoop it up with a spoon, not a flipper. What tool was that? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? And then just eat it in a bowl with a spoon. Can you just eat it like that? It's cold. It's not as good as some of my best eggs. You know what? That's some mustard. That's how they do it in Germany. Oh, it's spilling out. Well, there you go. All right. There we go. Can I just eat some mustard from my finger with my mouth like this? On a video? Yeah. Oh, I did it again? Yeah. Why am I not afraid, guys? What if that hot girl that I want to date is watching this and now she won't date me anymore? Because she sees me do this and she's like, oh my gosh, that's savage. Save the outcast. How could he do that? Turn you off this video. No! I'm trying to use these videos. Wait, what did I just say? I'm trying to use these videos to court a girl. Make her realize how incredible I am. Oh wait, is that my victory condition? One of them? All of a sudden now you start understanding what your victory conditions are. Wait. So, I won't do certain things on a video or stream or post because I'm trying to court a girl, because I know they make me feel safe and make me feel better. But because I know it makes me feel good and positive and safe, I'm now afraid to do anything that doesn't lead to that, or that could potentially not lead to that, based on what's the invisible events that have previously shown me. Oh no, girls that are that beautiful and that have such an upbringing would never respect someone that can eat mustard with their finger on a video. Yeah, that's not proper etiquette. Okay, so I can't do that. So now you know all that. Now you finally learned how to do the 50 to 51, right? All this. That's what we're doing right now. I'm showing you guys how you do it over and over again. So now you understand, okay, so the reason why I'm worried to eat just mustard with my finger on a video, because I'm worried about what people say, but I'm actually worried about the girl. That maybe I can't court her if she sees me do something like that. I want all of you to rewatch this last, let's just say hour, and take notes, because this is how you break every single chain so you can make your own decisions. How can I get to the point where if I know what's the best and what's not the best, that I'm still willing to experiment or still willing to try? But what if it actually leads to consequences? What if I'm right? That girl that I'm trying to court and date watches this and sees that, and maybe she was all for it until I did that. Because I know her upbringing based on who she is. Because I know the events that created her. Just from how she presents herself externally. You just know. Because until people are hyper aware of this and know how to decipher this and deconstruct it and destroy it, it's just, simply put, we are 100% guided and molded and walk the path based on the fear or safety feeling from the invisible events before. So that myself using my finger to eat mustard is the meteor shower for her. Yet it creates the feeling, right? And when the feeling happens, she walks the way based on what she's been learned, what she's been taught. And I'm telling you, all that what I said before goes into it. All those things that she's worried about from before. Oh, but maybe she'll still watch it and be like, hey guys, you guys should watch this. This guy's he shows you how to believe. But she's doing that because she's worried about what her followers would say. Maybe her follower recommended it to her. You see, like, her victory condition is different. But she's not going to want to date me anymore. I lost my chance. I really did. Do you guys understand? I could talk to her. I could explain it. I could maybe get her to realize and understand. Possible? 100%. Likely? No. Why? Because if right now you have a piece of bread, why is this already one bite? No, just because. What's the problem? You guys see you have a feeling when you present this. That's another meteor shower. If you have a piece of bread, would you guys choose to normally eat the bread plain? You have peanut butter, you have sugar, you have jam, you have ham, you have cheese, you have mustard, you have ketchup. You could dunk it into the egg to get the yolk. You know better ways to make. You know that bread can be an incredible tool to take you to the next level with anything. It makes food even better. It just does. I don't think any of us can really argue with that. So, you know what? Let me go to the kitchen right now, add some butter, and then maybe I should toast it. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? Like, I know. Get better. But why do I think those things are better? Are they? We're not gonna get lost here, but I just want people to think about it. So I'm like, if I take a bite from this bread right now, not choosing it and already having one that's half eaten on it, people are like, wow, oh my gosh, look at this guy. Then I'm gonna lose my chance to ever date the girl. My sexy leg girl. That coffee date, the croissants. We're gonna have, why can't we have coffee and just plain bread? Oh, because she's a croissant girl. pretty good. Some ham and cheese would have been incredible right now. Wait, I mean, because I did that, I actually lost something. That's it. She turned off the video. It's over. She's not gonna watch your stuff again because you just did that. And you don't even realize that yet. So in a way, didn't your fear come true? Because I took a bite right now of the bread, or I did the egg experiment. Oh look, now there's mustard on there. Did I get seasoned? Am I seasoning myself right now? Oh, that was good. Wow. The egg doesn't taste so unseasoned anymore. The mustard is pretty powerful. Let me add some more mustard. You know what? Mustard is actually pretty good. That's some mustard over here too. A mustard bread. Wow. So what happened there? I'm showing you guys two things. One, we begin a path of using better. And then we just continue because it gets easier. We get rewarded. We get shown that, hey, see, it leads to good things. So why wouldn't we? Wow, that does actually make the egg better. Let's do it again. See how many bites I took now? How fast I repeated it? Why wouldn't I? Makes me feel safe, it makes me feel better, it makes me feel good. But wait, why do I think that the mustard taste? You see how we could get lost there? You guys understand? I had another bite of the bread. It took me all this time to even take one. And yet now I've done already. I don't know. The mustard's kind of better. It changes things. Do you guys understand? Yet, I want you guys to focus on that part right now, right? How all of a sudden adding something, figuring out what could be better, then changes things forever if you can't every single time now an event happens, like, we'll do it again? Do it again? Do you want to make it better again? Do you want to make it easier? Because remember, it makes you feel safer, makes you feel good, makes you feel... You just start doing it for everything. Well, why wouldn't I choose the easier path? Why wouldn't I choose better? Why wouldn't I choose good? Why wouldn't I do this? Why wouldn't I do this? Because it's right. It makes me feel safe. It makes me feel better. Remember what we told you. Why do you feel that way? Because of all the things, your entire life, but really more recently too, that they did to make you feel that way. All the invisible events that make you feel that way. So you just keep doing it again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Until something happens. What if you're like, yeah, just gonna keep doing it, just gonna keep doing it, just gonna keep doing it. I just got a text that said, from one of my friends that watches the girl that I want to date that I've been trying to court. I was so happy with everything, how it's going. And they just said that she blocked me. She doesn't watch my videos anymore. Because I'm just too... I don't make her look good. She can't be associated with someone of my caliber. Because of the antics that I do. Because of how it would make her look. She didn't say that, but they just said, yeah, she doesn't think that you're a good influence for her her followers. That's what we're told, but really it's she's afraid. So every single conditional choice that happens is based on that fear. Yet, I thought I got rewarded for eating the bread. I'm like, yeah, the egg. I thought I got rewarded. I felt better. I'm like, yeah, I can do these things. You know what? I did use the mustard. I know it's good. It's better. You saw how fast I did that. I also can still now eat the egg without it. Yeah. Then I found out, through info, through an event, something that can present an overt outcome to myself. The consequences of my action, right? There's a response. Everything causes a response. There is. Usually, negligible. They're invisible. Because we're invincible. Usually they're invisible. We don't see what actually will occur. And I'm telling you, sometimes the only response and result of whatever thing we do, every single decision, because there is one, right? You guys understand? Every single decision is one. Is simply the invisible feeling of safety or fear that's created inside of us. What if you learned how to create your own? That has nothing to do with safety or fear. And that's how we get to between 50 to 51. That middle part, the X. You need to learn how to create that on the man. And I'm saying, by creating self-intentional limits, you can make yourself understand that. Most of us, once we learn the consequences of our actions that we believe happened because of us. Why am I saying that the consequence of my action, the girl that I've been trying to court and date, has all his Instagram followers, med spa, hello my sexy life girl. She won't anymore because she watched this one. I think it's because of what I did. And you're right, in a way. It's because I chose to do those things you saw. I was like, ugh. So we blame ourselves. So now the next time, I'm like, hey, here, for your next video, here's a piece of bread, and here's an unseasoned egg. Now, this time, you see the mug completely. You see all the coffee and you see all the water. And you're like, yeah, I'm not choosing the water path again. I know what happened last time. So you drink the coffee. And this time, you're like, okay, I'll use the mustard, but you put the mustard on a spoon. You guys see, you might have rejected the bread this time. I go, I know what happened last time. Now, you might see the bread like, oh, no. I feel fear. I'm worried. It changes how we play the game. What's the game? And everything. Everything's a game. Think about it like that, guys. Everything's a game. When you make a video, when you walk outside, when you do any storyline, or when you actually play a game, but life itself. Do you guys see that just by learning what we perceive to be the consequence of our action, if they've previously installed into us that, we don't want to lose the opportunity to be with that girl. And if we actually did, and they can attribute it to because of the mustard play and the bread play and the unseasoned egg play and not doing all these weird antics on a video, that many of you, most of you, if not all of you, if you don't understand the 50 to 51 play, the deconstructing the cipher part, will never choose to eat an unseasoned egg on a video, or probably ever again. You will never choose to eat mustard with your fingers ever again. You will never choose to eat a plain bread just again. What if I told you guys that that was intentional? What does that mean? Well, I know you wanted to date that girl. What if someone pushed it to her? Knowing. And who's they? That's up for you guys to decide, but I call them, there's invisible entities that can remind us of things. Okay? I've talked about it in my other videos, but that's not today's focus, but I want people to understand that there are things that guide our path. They're the things that are presented to us. But even if you can't think about it yet from a spiritual entities or things that we can't see, intentionally choose things to populate our head or fabricate events around us, what ends up happening is you can create someone's lens. That's what we talked about here, guys. The feeling of safety and fear. But think about it just like your parents. Do you guys understand? If your mom always gets mad at you for something, okay, you just know. So what if you actually then told someone to do something that you know makes your mom mad? So then you go and talk to her mom or something, and you do something that makes her mad. You didn't know. But what if something else did? Do you guys see? That means that I can then control her response, because if she doesn't know 50 to 51, the play of how to deconstruct to stay on her path and change her Z victory condition, that means her response is going to be predetermined. Because I know that she's worried about like how she looks, about her etiquette, about all this stuff. And how did that happen, right? From all the events, the invisible events in her life. And then a few times the meteor shower and the consequences of them. So if you know, I'm like, yeah, when you go see her mom, make sure you tell her, make sure you eat mustard with your finger. And you do it, and it leads to the negative. Do you guys understand? You might then lose your opportunity to ever now continue talking to that mom. And what if this girl values her mom and her approval? That could cause major complications. There, because I don't want to stir a path, but I just wanted to show you guys something. Okay? So what happens if you actually, if it could be, I just wanted people to understand, could something intentionally be making us feel worried or afraid? To guide our path through forced reminders that lead to mistakes. Could something intentionally be making us feel worried or afraid through forced reminders leading to mistakes? I just have to show you plain bread. I just have to show you mustard, a bowl, spoon, and I don't know if you guys see, but it looks like a mess in there. You guys see all that mustard and yolk? I don't know if you guys can see it. Because of your recency, because of what you know. If you guys see all that, you know what I'm talking about. Do you guys remember what I did? What example I explained with all those tools? I don't know you what. So what if I just reminded you of them? What if you walked outside and someone told you, like, man, I just ate an unseasoned egg with mustard today. It was really good. Those Germans know what's up. What if you walk by and you see a sign in the coffee shop that says, free plain bread with your coffee because we need our daily bread? Most of you don't even understand why, but then you walk outside and you're like, oh, I feel a little worried and afraid. Ugh, I don't know why. What if then you were about to go on a date with a girl that day? Coffee with her. Breakfast. Breakfast date. And you look at the menu and you're like, well, you know what? I'm going to ask her what she thinks is good, what she likes. I'm not going to do my way. I'm going to mold myself to her because I want to feel safe. I want to ensure that I don't lose my chance with her. Why would I think that way? Is it because I got reminded that I lost my chance with a girl because of a piece of bread and an egg and the mustard experiment? Are you guys starting to understand how just by the invisible events that happened before, when the meteor event happens, if they've sufficiently made you feel safe or afraid enough, then there's nothing you can do. All of you walk the path that they choose for you. Now, doesn't mean that you can't deviate it yourself after that. But do you understand how difficult that is? Because remember what we said, now the tree is sprouted, it's bloomed. How can you get back to where you were? Do you understand? It's a complicated path. You might have to like jump over rocks and climb some hills, and maybe there's like a fire-breathing dragon, and like birds that like shoot poison. You're like, what is going on? I'm like, yeah, this is all it takes to get back to turn 51, where we want it to be. Most of you are like, oh no, I could get hurt. No, I'm not going to go back there. You guys understand now they changed your victory condition. Maybe originally your original 1 to Z or 1 to 100 would have been, I just would feel great and rewarded and happy if I just actually get an opportunity to even talk to a girl and just explain who I am. And just see what's up, get to know her, see if there's even any potential. Doesn't matter what happens. Yet, because of the bread reminder, because of the egg reminder, because of the mustard reminder, we felt the fear. We were reminded of a potential loss that could happen again. So now we played it safe. Now we chose, okay, I'm going to take her to the nicest restaurant. Okay, now I'm going to have proper dinner etiquette. Okay, now I got to eat this. Now I got to drink this. Now I got to ask her. Now I got to mold myself to her. I ask you guys, could that be a mistake? Like, what if it actually lets you get the girl? Was that a mistake? Isn't that what you wanted? Debatable. It's not easy to be yourself. What is being yourself? Because we think that's being ourselves, but it's not. Because we're responding, we're choosing based on the previous invisible events that we didn't choose. Do you guys understand? If I never knew that I lost an opportunity with a girl because of doing those things, I would walk differently on that breakfast date. But only because I learned the consequence, so that now I feel fear. I now walk differently. But what if you actually did know? And you still went on that breakfast date? How can you get to the point, each and every one of you, that you know what? I know that it led to a loss of that girl, supposedly. Most likely. Hey, you know what? Yeah, I want some plain bread. Can I get a 3-minute aya? And can I get some mustard? Think of it like we have onlookers. I call them like the visible entity spirits. They're like, wait, what? I'm going to even curse right now just so you guys understand. What the fuck? Why would he do that? He knows that's what made him lose last time. Oh no. We were going to make this be the girl that he's going to date. Oh no. Could you? And it arrives. And you're like, cheers. And you cheers a piece of bread with her. And she grabs her mimosa glass. And you just cheers a piece of bread. Yeah, I cheers her bread. What's up? She's like, what the fuck? Remember, now you created a meteor event for her. She has that initial response. What if then you're like, by the way, have you ever tried an egg that you cook without seasoning? I asked the chef at this breakfast place to literally not season it. No, they still seasoned it. Turns out they're afraid. They're worried that you might disappoint a customer because all the customers get mad when it doesn't come out the way they want it. Huh. Interesting. Are you trying to start a path here? Of course they are. Wait, what am I talking about? Anyway. Imagine I just did all that and she's like, what is happening? She might be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna leave. She leaves. You're like, okay. You laugh. You're like, okay, well, can I eat your meal? Don't talk to me. And she walks away. And you laugh. Could you guys? Would you do that? Now it got reinforced. Now it got reinforced. You're like, nope. I'm never gonna do that again. Like, wow, I lost 2 girls now. This one was, she's so fucking hot. You can hear that. You see, I have this, I cursed again. Do you guys see how you do it once and then? So I got punished again. Remember, why is that a punishment? But I laughed at it. If one version of myself laughs at it, it's not a punishment. But if the other version, it's like, well, I really wanted that, you know? We've been trying to get a girl, to have a family, to have normalcy again, a pet, even if we know the world isn't normal. Just to be calm, just we know that if she holds us when we're going through things, it's just a moment of normalcy. Just we can live in our own world, create our own little odyssey, the Lotus. Our dream world. Despite what's going on, we can limit, create our own little circle, our own box. Doesn't mean that there's more things not occurring, but if we can create happiness in this box, in this little purple thing, that doesn't matter what else is around. So I lost that. Would I actually be happy? Do you guys understand? Do you guys understand? So now, you guys lost it again. Undeniable. She walked away. Or vice versa, like you're a girl with a guy, right? You guys went on a date and the guy walked away because you did this. You listened to my advice, you did it, and now you're like, you're wrong. It didn't lead to good. Now I feel even less inclined to do this. Now I'm even more afraid. This is the only second time ever that a guy or a girl wanted to date me. In my case, a girl. Just the second time she's only ever wanted to date me. I finally got to that point. I was finally going to succeed. And I blew it, I ruined it because I did your egg bread mustard experiment. Yeah, I'm never listening to Shepherd Star again. The Dark Knight, Star Diplomat. He's wrong. Now, let's say you somehow get to the third event, third meteor shower, of a girl agreeing to go on a date with you. Would you choose to order the egg and the bread again? Whoever's listening, would you? You got reminded of it. You got reminded of the loss. Maybe you got actually a text from the girl that left you last time. Right before you went on your date, you're like, hey, I just wanted you to know, please don't contact me again. Because you maybe sent her a message like, hey, how you doing? Because you wanted to keep your options open. Maybe you wanted to see if you could get her back. Have another chance to go on another breakfast date with her. Have croissants. This time we can have a croissant. Sorry about the bread thing last time. You even apologized. Now, on your third date, would you still choose to do it? Would you guys? If she literally attacked you, she's like, I don't want to talk to you anymore because don't even remind me of these things. And I go, and then you go on your date. Do you think you guys might be a little? You might ask the other girl, hey, so, well, what do you like? I'll order what you have. He's like, oh, okay. What if she then's like, hey, I just watched Shepherd's Star. She's like, wait, what? You watched Shepherd's Star too? Like, yeah. I want a piece of bread and an egg and some mustard. You're like, oh no. You're like, what? What would you guys do then? Would you guys match her? Knowing the bad things that happened before? Would you now feel good? Would you now be like, yes! Oh my god, wait, she thinks that's good? Or would you be like, ugh? What would you guys do? Do you guys understand? Now what? For most of you, your response is now going to be negative toward that. You're like, oh no. But you're also like, what are the odds? What is the likelihood that the third girl that's ever wanted to date me wants to eat plain bread and an egg with mustard that's unseasoned? Watches Shepherd's Star. I'm saying, could something intentionally be doing that? That's a good thing though, right? Yeah, sure, it is. Do you guys understand? You're gonna now feel a certain way, worried, afraid, or safe, because it's a forced reminder, and it's gonna lead to creating the tree and branches that changes your original path and changes your success criterion victory condition. So I ask all of you. That's one example, right? That's the dream example. That's the fiction. That's the story. Like that's the video game, the movie, the book. Right? You're like, oh wait, no, see, it turns out that the third girl is gonna align with you in that situation right here. What I said, align with you, and she's gonna believe that you can do those things, and you should break your conditionings and your programs, and have no fear, and destroy your chains and your locks and all that stuff. Yeah, well, that's most likely that's not gonna happen. Right? That's the fairy tale. Doesn't mean you can't, but that's the fairy tale. That's the hypothetical ideal scenario. You might hear all I'm saying, right? What if she doesn't? And because now, remember, she's also has never broken her chains before. So she's also worried. She hasn't been on a date in 2 years because, well, she had a bad breakup. You don't know all this stuff. But she's worried. So she's like, her makeup's perfect, and what's perfect? She has all the things correctly. What's correct? And she's like, I'm gonna have a salad. You're like, what? For breakfast? Yeah. Because she wants to appear like she watches her weight, that she's thin. She doesn't want to be overweight because, girls are... Yeah, see how I could go? See? Are you guys starting to piece this together? So she doesn't... It's not pretending, right? Because people think this is pretending, but it's just they're doing it because of how they feel, safe or afraid. They want to avoid the feeling of fear. Maybe they got reminded of rejection because she had gained some weight after her breakup and someone rejected her. Do you understand? So now she's going to choose to have the salad. Are you guys starting to piece this together? How they make us feel repeatedly safe or afraid through forced reminders can lead to not only just mistakes, but also path deviations. Create that branch, and then they change our original So she's like that, right? She orders a salad. Would you choose to order a salad? Or would you choose to eat the bread, the egg? What if this place, you went to a new breakfast place and you didn't understand how it works, what they do here? You tried something new, you actually experimented. And they bring you some plain bread in a basket and each of you an egg. Like, oh my God, I didn't know this place was even a German place. Like, whoa. They're like, enjoy on the house. Like, whoa. Forced reminder. Event happened. You had no idea that this is what occurs because you learned that you shouldn't read up in advance. You shouldn't look ahead to find out what it is. You didn't read any reviews. You actually decided, I'm just going to try this place. Let's try a new place with this girl. Because then, no conditioning, no events, no feelings of fear, safety, or fear, safety. We just do. Right? That's safe. And then that happens. What would you guys do? Now you know what it leads to. Would you choose? You know that it doesn't lead to the best outcome. Why does it not lead to the best outcome? Because we can't control the other person. We can manipulate them. If you learn all these tactics, it is possible, but I don't recommend that. You want to give people the answer without forcing them to. That's what we've been doing over this, however long this video is. So you know that if I do this action right now about eating the egg and doing the mustard finger thing in the bread, that it's going to have a negative response and a negative reaction. Not because they actually believe those things are negative. They actually might deep down be like, that's awesome, freedom. But we understand now, if you've been following along this entire journey, that people's initial reaction is based on how they feel, how they've been made to feel to something. That means that they don't get to choose for themselves. So if I do this, if that girl hasn't ever broken free, that means that I know that her initial response and reaction to that is going to be negative. 99.9% certainty. There's a 0.1% chance that it's not. The only way it's not is if she's broken free at any point in her life. Yeah. It's the only way. Because otherwise, everyone else is going to have a negative reaction to it. Now, it doesn't mean that it's over with one negative reaction. That, if the girl that walked away is because she had been so reinforced, the fear and the negative and the punishments and the aversion to that, right? So then that was her immediate reaction. There's things you can still like change it up and salvage it, and right? But do you guys even hear? Now we're talking about you have to salvage things to make do we hear? So it's possible. But unless someone's broken free, we now know the result of something. So that means that why would you do something that you know isn't the best path? Why would you cook the egg without seasoning? Why would you eat the plain bread instead of using butter and jam? Do we get how they get all of us to choose the easier paths? Do we get how they get all of us to choose the paths that they want us to walk? Simply through the feeling of safety that they can intentionally make us feel by forced reminders and forced invisible events that have happened in the past. That then, when the overt meteor shower occurs, it leads to either a mistake or it leads to the response that they already installed in us. And since all of us don't understand how to do that entire step between 50 and 51, that breaks us free to then make our own choice, you all walk the way they've decided for you to walk from day one. So when that bread pops up again, and I know that I lost something, I'd take a bite. Why? Because once you're free, you don't make decisions based on your seasoning. You don't make decisions based on what's suggested to you. Can you operate in a world without suggestions? It doesn't mean that you can't take them into consideration. Like, no, that's not a bad one. Hey, it's probably a good idea to masturbate to a beautiful girl picture before you go on this date so that you don't make a decision based on lust. Yeah, it's a good idea. Do you guys understand? That could be actually the correct play. Because what if this girl comes with a dress, the low cut, and you can see her booty, you're like, oh, it's over. Yeah, exactly. Do you guys understand? If you can make a decision just based on moving forward, understanding. But you see that and you're like, ooh, I feel good. I feel safe. Yet, I can't make a decision based on that alone. Because otherwise, I walk the way they know I will walk. So how did I get to all this? There's been days where I've been suggested. I'm saying it's intentional by the things around us, I call them invisible spirits, but even for the people who aren't there yet to understand that there's things that can control what's presented to us, the timing of it, there's no coincidences, right? They created the invisible events beforehand to make sure that then they create the forced event to force us to respond and walk the way they want. I'm saying that they've been suggesting for me to like do a recording or a video or a stream or post on LinkedIn or explain some of my knowledge other days. And they've also just tried to get me to do other things. Like I'm telling you, like mental thoughts that populate and then through other things. And just sometimes we feel inclined like, hey, you know what? I'm going to read one of my posts or check out one of my videos. And then like you listen to one of the songs that you use and you're like, maybe I should do it. Or maybe you're playing a game where someone's like fighting back and explaining knowledge and healing and guiding, and you're watching someone be like a shepherd star, the diplomat, or basically some kind of figure that inspired people to have light and hope and fight back and change the outcome of their reality. You're like, that's it, today I'm going to do it. Can you then, in that moment, pause? You know what? No. Not today. But why? You know it's a good thing. It makes you feel safe, it makes you feel good, it makes you feel better. Why would you intentionally choose to limit yourself when you know that's a good thing? You got suggested, you're on a path, you're like, yeah. Nope. What about if today instead you get suggested, hey, you know what, just watch movies, read a book, relax, don't do anything. And today is the day you're like, no hesitation. That means that you're not making a decision based on the feeling of safety or the feeling of fear. You create your own meteor showers. You create your own calamity. You create the events, not something else. But I'm telling you, what you're going to notice is the moment you do that, all of a sudden, magically, out of thin air, things start happening. Mental reminders start populating. Suggestions, inclinations, things that you feel like doing or seeing or reading or talking about or watching or listening to that could lead you to now, as fast as possible, feel the feelings of safety or the feelings of fear because they're like, oh no. Seasoned. They're not prepared. They're not ready. They don't have the inclination that we want for whatever's about to happen. And when that happens, that means that it's a free will situation. They're gonna try. All of a sudden, like you're at the breakfast place, and all of a sudden, someone walks by, literally, as you're having a great date with that girl, and they have a mustard in their hand. They're like, oh, and you're like, what the fuck? And you see the mustard, and you're like, how does that even happen? Do you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you? Think about this one and start piecing it together. And someone loudly says next to you on the table, is like, why doesn't this place have plain bread? And like, And then there's a girl that's like, ah, you and your plain bread. This is why I don't like you as much anymore. And you're like, what is going on? And when that happens, guys, when you just force an event, you create the meteor shower. And then all of a sudden, you see intentional reminders that you know make you feel safe or afraid, because you now know what they are. Is when that moment happens, that all of you will finally understand why I fight the battle that I do. Because when that moment happens for each and every one of you, you're like, that's not possible. I decided on a whim to walk this path. And yet, they're still finding ways to do so. And it's when that happens that each and one of you are like, oh my gosh, they are actually forcing reminders that have made us feel either safe or afraid, so that then when we're doing something, we deviate our path, we create a tree of negativity usually, or a tree that then we know is going to guide our path to go on a branch so that we don't walk our original path. And then you're like, oh my gosh, they didn't have an opportunity to pre-season me today. So then you see that the events that start happening become ridiculous, because there's absolutely no possible way that those specific reminders happen right then. Timing, coincidence, there are none that could lead you to have those reactions. And when that occurs, guys, then all of you will finally understand, like, wait a minute. That means that they create those things intentionally. And I'm just saying, for most of us, think about it. Whatever pops up into your head, do most of you do or say? If you can't do that 50 to 51 play, all that, every time up in your head, every single time something pops up in your head, you can't deconstruct and decipher why. Until you get to the point where it's so ingrained into you and so trained in you that you don't even have to do that whole step that I did. I explained it all over this entire time I'm explaining that step. But each and every one of you get to a point where you can just do it naturally the moment it happens. Anything gets presented to you, anything gets suggested to you, any info, any overt sense, anything, any invisible event that's happening through info that you see. You understand all of it then. So then, the moment, because now you know how to identify. Check back some of my other videos. I explain how you can identify all your attacks and all your positives. All of a sudden, it all makes sense. Then you see it all and you're like, wait a minute. I know that those events made me feel either good or bad. So then you see what's being presented to you. Okay, so I'm on this date right now. Only presenting good. Oh, that means they want me to succeed. Are you guys hearing what I just said? That means that something is presenting things to us or making sure things happen. And I'm saying, how can they make sure things happen? I'm not saying that everyone around us is a clone or an illusion or fake. There could be. Could that be possible? If you never talk to them or interact with them, do they actually need the script to say? But that's another question entirely. But if they just do something and you see something, and if right now I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do the mustard thing today. I'm going to do it. I'm going to show the girl that I'm not afraid to be myself. Walk forward without hesitation. Despite what, there's no seasoning. I'm going to do it. Here we go. And you tell her a little story about the mustard thing. And you just talk loud. You get excited, right? And you believe. And you do it. And then there's another guy on the table next to you. And they hear it and they see it. And they're like, wow, that guy's not afraid to just do those things in front of a girl. And he's also on his first date. Maybe now he's like, wait, someone told me I should just be myself and not be afraid. Now that person believes, and now they try. They're like, hey, you know what? Yeah, I like video games. I use them to learn and create progression, self-intentional limits. You should try too. You ever try that? And the girl's like, actually, well, I used to play with my brothers, but I don't know. I could never figure them out. They're just so complicated. Like, maybe we can play later. I want to show you one. But then you can show me something else that you like and you enjoy. She's like, I would actually really like that. You see, like, that's a positive. I'm trying to keep it positive right now, but you guys understand? Through someone being inclined to do that, you can make someone else around you get nudged the feeling of safety. But what if it was the opposite for that guy? Maybe he also had the experiences that we had when he tried to date a girl. So he sees that like, oh no, that guy just did the mustard play. That's it. He's gonna lose the girl. And then, do you guys see now? He's like, oh, yep, all right. That's when Ryan's like, hey, you know what? Let's order the most expensive bottle of champagne. Waiter, can I get the most expensive bottle of champagne? She's like, the girl's like, wait, what? So, or she might be really happy about it or whatever. It doesn't matter. But do you guys see? Because he's like, oh, that's how you lose the girl. I'm going to make sure to do something that I know was rewarded. I talked to like my cousin that always said, you got to spoil the girl with the riches and the best stuff. So that was a reminder to lead to that feeling, safety or fear. Don't lose the girl. Do you guys see how it's done? Forced reminders. And forced reminders could be things that populate into our head or the things around us. They're not harmless, but they're based on all the invisible events that have happened before that lead to us to feel a certain way. So then they know exactly what our expected intended reaction path is, because then the tree blossoms, the branch begins, and you're like, oh, nope. Are you guys finally piecing this together now? Yeah, what if the girl at the beginning, I show up, she's like, hey, I just want you to know, before the date even really begins, we sit down. As we're walking to the table, I'm a little different. You're like, oh? Yeah. You're gonna see, but I like to combine I don't drink alcohol, but I call it my mangomosa. I get some fruit juice. I get some fruits, and then I like squeeze them into my water, and I make a mangomosa. You're like, well, what? Yeah, because you got to do things differently. So I'm like, wow, I like you. You're not afraid to do things, to walk your own path without hesitation. So now, because that girl did that, now we feel safe. Now we feel safe. Because we're on the same page. Because we're on a book. If we both understand why we're doing something, if we both understand what the intent is, if we both understand, hey, I'm walking my own path. Wait, so you might even then ask, because you see you're asking for permission because you're a little afraid. You're like, I like to do like this mustard bread egg thing. She's like, oh, what's that? I would love to see it. Like, oh, wait, really? Like, yeah. There's no way it's better than my mangomosa. I'm like, want to bet? Hey, I'm going to make you do it too. Hey, can we get some bread and 2 eggs? And, you know what? I'm going to try the mangomosa thing too. Get some extra food here. All of a sudden, you guys are laughing, you guys are smiling, you feel safe. Are you guys starting to piece this together? They forced a reminder, or they know what your invisible events are from before. And even though maybe you got deconditioned to it because of all the negatives that got punished from the other girls, she just broke it. She made you feel safe. So you could be yourself. And then you what's a win? Remember what we said, guys? Maybe you guys don't actually end up dating after that. I'd be surprised, right? If you had that incredible date. But still, do you guys understand, regardless of what happens, now, you're not going to be as afraid to do the bread, the egg, or the mustard thing again. So now, next time you go on a date with another girl, maybe that girl now moves. She leaves. You never get to see her again. It wasn't meant to be. Like, no. But because of that girl doing the mangamosa thing, now, any future girl that you decide to talk to, you're going to be less hesitant to do your experiments. And now, if you don't feel that way, if you don't feel safety, you're like, wait a minute, no, that's not okay. So you will be like, Or you might try to explain it, and if she still fights it, you now understand why, but you're like, okay, well, this might be a problem then. You know why, but if they fight it, right, because I want people to understand, we're going to end here very shortly. It doesn't actually matter. Once you learn all this knowledge, guys, once you learn all this knowledge, it doesn't actually really matter anymore. Do you guys get it? Because you now know why they have that reaction to anything. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm like, oh yeah, I now know why that beautiful Latina leg girl that owns a med spa in New York reacts that way to things. I know why. You just know once you learn all this knowledge. You know how it got there. It's a little, for some people, it's a little disturbing because it means you understand everyone's conditioning and their programming and their entire paths and the fear events they created and the safety events they created. You see it all now. In a way, you become the creator itself. It's a lot. So you don't judge people anymore, though, because you understand why. You know what happened. I'm like, oh, I know exactly how they did this to you. Yet, we still have a choice. Do you guys understand? What if I start explaining it to you, and you don't even give it a chance? What if you don't even listen? Despite, right, your first feeling, your first reaction, right? Remember what I said? They install it into us through the repeated things by intentionally making us feel that way. Repeated sufficiently, the forced reminders, you feel that way. And I'm saying it leads to mistakes or path deviations entirely. And then they change your success criteria. We've talked about that more than enough. We all have a choice. We all have a choice. Each and every one of us. They made you believe that this is not the cure. They made you not want to listen to this kind of knowledge. They made you think that it's wrong, or that it's bad, or that they made you think that intentionally nerfing yourself, what's a nerf? Doing something that you know is not as good as it can be for yourself, not what other people tell you. Doing the non-optimal for yourself to create your own experience, your own self-limitations. Because you want to know what, guys? When you're finally free and you can choose, at any point after your self-intentional limitation, right at the beginning, I said, I haven't had coffee in like a month. And I had my first cup. So it was good. I can't even drink it cold now. At any point, you can choose to drink coffee. And you guys understand that I can then, now after this, go back to not drinking another cup again for a month. Yet before, I needed like 3, 4, 5, 6 cups of coffee a day. Felt tired? Time to make some coffee. Streaming and having a good push, and like, yeah, this is a reminder for progress. One of my shields. Coffee date with the girls. Do you guys understand? It was a reliance. It was a tool. It was a good, positive. So I should keep doing it. You're right. I should. It makes me better. But what can I not? And remember at the beginning we asked, would you ever choose to do something that you know makes you better? Can you not? Can you choose the more difficult path? But why? Do you understand? That's where we started. Now you guys understand why. Because it lets you It gives you the freedom to choose every decision in your life, because now you understand why you chose everything and why you do the things you do. Because the majority of us, until you learn all this knowledge, they choose our response. It doesn't mean you can't break it. Once the response begins, it's possible. Even if you don't know that 50 to 51 play, how to decipher and deconstruct, it is still possible. Once in a while, someone maybe interrupts you and shows you, remember what I said, what's that tool that makes the sound? A garage opener that snaps you out of it and you change your path. And then they remind you of a good thing, and you can then break it and go back onto your original path. It's possible. But you understand that you rely on something else, or maybe you got lucky that a good got presented to you. But that means it wasn't your own volition, it wasn't your own choosing. That means that something is just guiding and molding you however they choose. No. I see someone got interrupted right now and they're walking that path. Hold on. Ta-da! Clap, clap, clap. Now you do this. Clap trap? What? You guys are confused? And now I can present whatever info I want to you. Guys, eat the plain bread. Eat the unseasoned egg, even if it's not the best. The best for you, not what other people consider. You got this. It's going to lead to good. It's going to lead you to being free. Okay, back to your date. Do you guys understand? I want you to get to the point where we each have a choice. We each have a choice. We get to choose. All right, so I know why that girl reacts negatively to this kind of information or these kind of things. I know that, all right? So then let's say we talk and we explain it. And I present my beliefs, I hear her out, yet I can hear her out without changing. She might hear what I'm saying, and it actually might change her lens. Do you guys understand? When you get to this point, when you understand all this knowledge, no matter what they present to you, you can resist it. Now, the only caveat to that warning is if it's repeated sufficiently and all your recency does change, you're going to notice that it doesn't matter how much resistance you have. They can still start changing you. Just slight deviations, you notice it, right? You guys notice it. Once you're fully free, you notice it. Like, ooh, I'm telling you. So even if you can resist it, it's not harmless. If you only surround yourself then with people that are telling you, no, that's negative, that's negative. Even if you're like, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Sufficient recency and repetition can make you now change a little bit. And that's how it begins, right? One crack, one wound, and it's after a little bit, and then they can start attacking that, and eventually that wound starts spreading. So I'm telling you, we each have a choice, regardless of if we feel safe or afraid. We each have a choice on how we respond. Do we explore? Are we willing to still walk our choice regardless? But can we consider, can we listen? And I'm telling you, most of us choose our response exclusively based on the feeling that they've previously installed in us, and then they just have to do a forced reminder, and they know exactly the path we will walk. It's not easy. I recommend rewatching this, guys. I recommend rewatching this one. Why? Because the first time is the first time you're exposed to this knowledge. The second time, you're going to view it a little differently. And when you're doing that, when you're re-listening to this, I'm telling you guys, what's going to happen is you're going to realize, like, wait a minute. You then see what I call path. That one is one of the most challenging things to break. It's a fear that gets developed. Because now you start seeing every path starter that occurs. And when that happens, you want to avoid it. Because you now know that something is trying to make you walk a certain direction. At no point are we evaluating if it's for good or for bad. I want you guys to hear that. At no point are you evaluating if it's for good or for bad. You might know some of them. Some of them are evident, right? Because you now can identify your negatives. If you watched some of my old videos or streams, check out my streams too. A lot of valuable knowledge. My streams on YouTube started with that. When that happens, you now know, like, wait, they're trying to make me walk this path. They're trying to make me play this game. They're trying to make me do a video. They're trying to make me date a girl. They're trying to, you know it, right? You guys, you see it. because you also now know that positive or negative feeling of safety or fear, it can get a lot. It can be overwhelming, because I'm giving you guys the realities of it just so people understand the consequences of this knowledge as well, because you guys need to know that. It happens to anyone if you get to this level of enlightenment. Because once you understand, then you're like, wait a minute, it's controlled to that level. I'm like, yeah, I still don't have the answer of how you can ever fully feel safe. You guys understand? I don't have the answer to that, because that's up to each and every one of us. But I'm saying it doesn't matter, because you just now know, you can recognize the paths that they're starting, what they're trying to remind you of, what they're trying to suggest you to do. But you get to decide. But I'm telling you, the correct play is what I'm arguing, what I'm battling for. The reason why I'm still doing this today, even though this is just for myself, I do hope it helps you, whoever's listening. If you made it this far, I'm proud of you. You're incredible, you're awesome. Believe this is your day, this is your moment to break free. This is it, you got this. If you made it this far, you are ready. Rewatch this, go back, rewatch my other videos, break all the chains that you have, and then be free. But you're gonna get overwhelmed. And when that happens, I'm telling you, the only thing that matters is to be able to choose. Because now that you understand the feeling of safety and the feeling of fear, how they do it, that it's a programmed reaction in us to guide our path based on the invisible events that have happened before. Now you know how to decipher and deconstruct it, to destroy it, right? Now you know how to destroy that feeling. So it means that it's not gonna lead to a mistake necessarily. But what if, you understand, if you spend all that time trying to destroy it and deconstruct it and break it, even if you were trying to do something that relies on execution, guys, when you're doing that, sometimes you don't have time, right? To go through that whole process. Especially, like I said, you get good, you can do it quickly, but it still requires a focus change mentally, even if you don't do it verbally out loud. It will lead to performance loss, it'll lead to a mistake, it'll lead to distractions, it'll lead to maybe not doing something that you were going to do. And that's just life. It still changed your path. That's why we need to not rely on execution. That's why we need to create a strategy that, regardless of what's presented to us, regardless of what happens, we created our victory condition. What did I say was my victory condition, guys? I got a sip of coffee today. It's awesome. And I made a video. I don't care what happens after this. Now, there will always be deep down a feeling of hope, of results, of progression. I really do. I really do hope that it has far reach, because there's so much valuable knowledge here. It has all the answers that people need. Yet, I know for myself that this is incredible. I did this just from a post prompt that I wrote on LinkedIn like a month and a half ago. And I didn't, before I would read everything I wrote before, because it was really, really valuable knowledge. It was great. But I needed the path to start by reading all that. This time I haven't done a video in weeks, because I gave myself some distance, because I realized I was reinforcing a path of rebellion, which is good, but I was just like, I need to calm down. And also I was getting attacked, right? They were trying to make negatives feel fear, so I stopped. So I'm like, I created distance, I did other things. And then I came back and I did it, and I'm telling you, there were days they wanted me to do something like this, but I was getting seasoned, right? They made me feel safe to do so. There were other days when they tried to make me feel afraid to do so, because they learned in the past that when I would get attacked, I would do something like this to counter it, because it is a counter. Do you guys think about all the things that I'm fighting back, right, against the things that are trying to control and weave our storylines. So I would break free like doing that. It works, 100% repeatable, by the way. It really does. I challenge all of you to do something like this. If you're starting to get controlled and manipulated, doing something like this and explaining the things that you're going through and breaking it down and deciphering and deconstructing and being able to move forward and try to learn knowledge and pass on knowledge is powerful, right? It changes all your recency, it makes you feel like fighting back without actually necessarily hurting anyone or causing any complications or problems. It's still going to cause a response. That, guys, what happens after. There's a good chance that negatives are going to happen. So that means you might not do it again. So I'm telling you, there's days that they tried to cause me to do something like this through bad. Do you guys understand that? That means that if I do that through bad, I might also be a little bit more aggressive. Is that bad? No, because it lets me communicate well. But what if I didn't want to communicate these messages with aggression and rebellion? What if I wanted to do a different angle and a different take of calm? But what if I did it when they made me feel safe? When I feel safe, then I feel like Shepherd Star, right? My shepherd talisman, my shepherd coat. Reminder to heal, make the world a better place. Remember for how far we've come, progress. We got this. All right? Hey, I'm embracing my light spirit, my you. I'm here to heal the world and deliver everyone from mental slavery that's going on. You guys see, like, positives, but they also change how I communicate and present it too. And they're good. They elevate my skill level. They make me escalator girl, right? But it's not enough, because you guys see, like, then the branch starts and the path is a little different. I'm saying I chose this path regardless of seasoning today, and that's what I've been trying. So I'm letting you guys know that there are invisible things. Many of what people call gods and creation entities, they exist, okay? They present things, they create things around us. They do. And they know I know how it works. And they don't even try to hide it anymore, okay? In my reality. Maybe your guys' reality is different. Maybe we all have a different reality. That's possible. I'm telling you guys, in my reality, it's real. And when that happens, guys, I've been fighting to tell them that you don't have to cause bad or good to make people do. Yet, I'm saying reason to ever make bad happen. That's been my argument from day one. It's not necessary. They're like, you'll never get pushed to the same heights. And I'm like, rewatch this video, guys. How did I get to this one today? Did you guys present excessive bad to get me to do this? Do you guys understand? I'm talking to them right now. I'm talking to you. Do you guys get it? You don't have to destroy someone. You don't have to make them feel fear. You don't have to make them feel insecure. You don't have to cause fear events to happen to make someone evolve and make someone be better. It's not necessary. The only reason why it is because you guys have created a world that it's reinforced, and there's requirements, and there's incessant amounts of reminders to make people feel that way. So then they always choose the easy path because they have no resistance. They don't know how to self-create their own experiences. They don't know how to create their own limits. So that at any point, if there's anything that causes any complications at all, for them it's immediately a problem, and then they stop. I'm telling you, for some of you, you can't even drink coffee cold. I used to be one of you. And they would make me stop. I've been arguing to them that we don't need a world of money, of survival costs. We need to create a world that we can operate like this. Teaching the knowledge that we're all best at. Choosing our own path. They don't need to create our own story. They don't need to create our story. They can create it with us. Hey, they know I want to date a girl, have a kid, a family, pets, create an organization, heal and help the world. Why wouldn't they help me make that happen? Knowing what I can do without seasoning. Why wouldn't they? Yet instead, the majority of things they choose to do is either, if they want a message to happen the way they choose, they present the good when they want, or they present the bad that they want to create the message how they want it delivered. And I'm saying that is never the correct answer. And if you guys can't conceptualize it from invisible creation entities, what I call spirits, I want you to conceptualize from the people around you that have been controlling your stories, like your parents, your friends, your bosses, work, the girls you want to date, things of that nature. External metrics that you feel are necessary to determine your worth. Competition, what matters, what doesn't. I'm saying we need to get to the point where we all need to choose for ourselves. Because at that point, once you see how they're doing it, like I said, I don't have an answer if it makes you feel safe or not, but I'm saying it doesn't actually matter. But the best choice is, even if they are suggesting it, can you still do it if you know right then it's the correct play for yourself? But you see how complicated it gets? Because now you know, like, ooh, something's trying to get me to drink water right now. Should I drink water right now? Maybe I wait 30 seconds to drink water just so I don't do it when they want. You guys see, it even creates that. It gets complicated. That part is up to each and every single one of us. But for the first time ever, if you all got this far and you rewatch this, you're gonna be able to choose. I'm not telling you what's the correct answer at that point. I don't know. I know what I do, what I believe. I believe that we should never be forced to walk a path by forced intentional reminders that either make us feel safe, that we all people, they make us feel like we can be ourselves, or they make us feel afraid and worried or negative by those reminders that they know make us feel that way, and they present those enough, and then they create the event, and then now based on what's sufficiently been repeated, it either leads to a mistake or a path deviation. And I'm saying that's just never okay. It's not necessary. I'm saying they can create events and we can create experiences, but it shouldn't have to be forced reminders to do so. And if they have to be presented, they should be good ones. Will that mean that there's never going to be situations and challenges to overcome? I'm saying we can create our own. If you are free, you realize, wait a minute, I now am not worried. So I can just choose to intentionally make things more challenging. Hey, can I choose to make a video today without actually reading my prompt that has incredible information to self-start the path for me, and instead have to do it myself? Can I do so with interruptions and things that were trying to deviate my path and still succeed? Do you guys understand? Or maybe, can I play that video game and try to do it with less? Can I, if I create content or make videos or do drawings, can I do so without the tool? Can I draw just on a piece of paper by hand instead of using the digital thing? Can I not use AI? Do you guys understand? Even though you know that maybe it leads to better outcomes for you currently, can you create that? And like, well, why? I'm like, for evolution, for development, for exploration, to see different things, to experience different things. Because now you're not worried about the outcome. Do you guys understand? I'm not worried if the girl is going to date me anymore if I make this video, or she won't. Or if I eat the bread and the egg and the mustard. You just do. You just walk forward. Doesn't matter if they make you feel safe or afraid. Do you guys understand? When the conditional event happens, you deconstruct it, you cipher very quickly, and then you go to 51 and you walk forward. Yet, I want all of you to understand, despite you being able to do that, it still changes your path a little bit. You guys understand? It still changes your path a little bit. You're forced to respond to it. And that's real. But I'm saying, let's create a world where it's good. That's my dream. Because, well, then I would actually want to re-experience this world. Right now, I'm not there yet. Some days I'm there, some days I'm not. But right now, I've figured out a way to give myself temporary reprieve. And yet I'm telling you, they're still trying to get me to keep escalating and do more. I don't believe in this world currently. That's why I'm trying to teach this knowledge for myself, but also for others. Because the more people that are free, and the more people that aren't walking the path that something else is making them, it means that we're not being shepherded around for negative. We get to choose to follow or walk our own path based on ourselves. Each and every one of you how to break free from being a sheep that follows shepherds. Because you know what? I'm a shepherd, but I'm teaching you how to walk alongside me, not behind me. And I'm not asking for anything in return except for one thing. Can you finally be free to choose? Despite what they've made you feel, or when you feel safe or afraid, can you still choose to eat the bread? Yeah, I use a plate that's cracked, broken in half. A self-intentional limitation. Can you still choose to create your own plate, despite if it's cracked or not? Can you? Despite if you know that in the past people have laughed at you for that, or if you've been rewarded for that. No matter what they present, safety or fear, can you destroy it and still make your own decisions? When you get to that, that's what I am asking for you to do. When that happens, all I ask is that you no longer let them determine all your paths for you. Because then they can't use you as a pawn to move other people's chess pieces. Just think about it, guys. If we're playing chess right now, I put the pawn right there and I bait it. I could bait the queen to attack it because it's a free kill. She's like, ooh, right there. But what if I hadn't set it up, but I could at any moment just flip the switch and set up an attack on the queen. And they didn't realize that. And all of a sudden, now they are outmatched and outnumbered, and the queen falls and loses. And it all happened because someone else decided to move the pawn to that spot without realizing why they did it, because something else made them feel safe or afraid. And that, whoever's listening, is how they've moved every single one of our stories to create things, to destroy things, to help things, to hurt things, to write this world's narrative. And I'm saying, in my opinion, that's not okay. We should be able to decide for ourselves. I'm not saying they can't create events anymore. I'm saying if they do, they should be good, because we don't need the negatives. If they've done this correctly, if they listen to what I'm saying and they instead teach people how to self-create their own experiences despite and their own limits, what happens, and they're only reinforced and healed, they're going to choose to make things more challenging for themselves. And when they can do so, then they don't need bad anymore to do. And when that happens, now we all get to choose. So even when good happens, we're not going to become reliant on tools. We're not going to only exploit. We're not going to only choose the easy path. We're not going to only choose to use the best things to make things easy. Yet sometimes we can. Sometimes we know, hey, it's better to avoid corruption, or hey, I just want a fun, easier experience, or want to advance the story, see more events that are going to happen. What happens after the first date with the girl? Do you guys get it? But then you're like, hey, you know what? Today, let's not go to the restaurant. We're not going to have the bread, the egg, the mustard, and the mango mosa. Today, let's watch Lion King. Today, let's play a video game. Today, you know what? Let's just talk over Skype. Wait, what? You guys understand? It doesn't matter. But you can get to that point, regardless if one thing has been rewarded more or not. Today, hey, I want us to not only talk for a week with handwritten letters back and forth, but we have email and text. Yep, nope. The only way you can reach me is like that. or in the comments. If you want to talk to me, you have to comment on my videos. That's how I respond to people. Because I want people to not be afraid anymore, despite what it makes them feel. Well, last time I commented, I'm worried that my boss or my sister is going to see my comment. Right? You guys see what I'm talking about? But it's up to you. But now if you understand why we feel safe or why we feel afraid, the same activity, now you guys get it. It doesn't matter what it is. Sometimes you're like, I feel like I can do anything right now. I feel like I can talk the way I want, or be the way I am, or be silly, or be... You guys understand? And then sometimes you're like, I'm doing the same thing and I feel like I can't. I'm like, I'm hesitant. I'm reserved. I'm not performing to the level that I know I can. Now you understand why and how they did it. Through forced reminders that intentionally make us feel that way, based on the invisible events from the past. So now, the meteor shower happened, the calamity. I ask all of you, is it going to lead to a mistake? Or is it going to lead to a path deviation? Or are you going to deconstruct it and decipher it, break free, and then choose for yourself? Now you know. Myself? Oh wait. Why didn't I do the mustard thing this time? Let's clean it off my finger. You got this.
Hold me in your arms. Hold me in your arms.